All right, you guys. Today we are going to be talking about one-step equations. Okay, so remember from a few classes ago, we talked about the differences between equations and expressions. Up until this point, you've just been working with expressions. Okay, expressions are where we don't see an equal sign. There's no equal sign. So basically, all we're doing is trying to make it smaller. Okay, well with equations, okay, we can fill in this blank for number 1. Equations have a or an what sign? Okay, they always have an equal sign. Okay, so if you see an equal sign, then you know it's an equation. Okay, when we're solving equations, we're actually trying to find the number that this variable represents. So, number 2, when it says, when you are solving equations, you are trying to find the value or value that the variable represents. Okay, what that means is every one of these variables, okay, this P, R, B, M, all the letters, they actually represent numbers. It's almost like there's a hidden number behind this variable that we need to kind of solve the puzzle to find, okay? So let's zoom in to number 3 and let's actually solve them. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to draw a line down your equal sign. Okay, because there's 2 things you want to think about when solving equations. Okay, and I'm actually going to write them right over here to the side. Okay, 2 things. Okay, to solve an equation, it's almost like we're untying a knot. Okay, this knot has been tied. We need to untie it. We need to undo what's been done, and I'll explain that a little in a second. Okay, the second thing you need to think of is a weight scale. You need to keep it balanced. Okay, so untie the knot and keep it balanced. Okay, and let me explain what that actually looks like, okay? So the reason I draw this line down the middle is to know that here's one side and here's the other side. In order to keep it balanced, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. In fact, I'm going to write that on the notes. Okay, that's always a rule. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. You do the same exact thing to both sides. Okay, sorry. There you go. Now you can see it. What you do to one side, you must do to the other in order to keep it balanced. Okay, so now let's talk about untying the knot. Okay, so there's this knot over here. So you always want to start with the side that has your variable. Okay, the side that has my variable is this left side. Okay, fun fact about me, I'm not very good at my left and rights. Okay, so it's this left side. Okay, so in order to untie the knot, we need to do the opposite of whatever's happening over here with the variable. Okay, when we're solving one-step equations, that means we're only going to have to do one thing to solve. It's pretty nice. Okay, so in number 3, we want to look at the side with my variable, right? And we need to untie this knot, or do the opposite of -5. Okay, the opposite of -5 is +5. Okay, addition and subtraction are opposites of each other. Multiplication and division are opposites of each other. Okay, so we untied the knot, but now we need to keep it balanced. So whatever we did to this side, we have to do to the other. So we +5 on the other side. Okay, when you untie it or do the opposite, it gets rid of it. Okay, so you can bring down what's ever left. In this case, it's just our variable, which is a P. Okay, equal sign in the middle. And then on this side, we have -2 plus 5. Okay, what is -2 plus 5? You can always use a calculator here. This is going to be a +3. Okay, So now what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to check my work, because we should be able to plug in a 3 for the p and our equation should make sense. So what that means is we found that p equals 3. So I'm going to plug that into where p used to be. So 3 minus 5, does that equal -2? 3 minus 5 does equal -2, so we did it right. So we know that our answer is p equals 3. Okay, that is our answer. We found that p represented a 3 right there. It was a hidden 3. Okay, let's look at number 4. Okay, so number 4, let's start the exact same way. So draw your line down the equal sign, knowing that whatever you do to your side with your variable, which is again this left side, you must do to the other side, okay? So what is happening on my side with my variable? It's adding 9, okay? So the opposite of add 9 is subtract 9. Okay, we untied the knot right here, but now we got to keep it balanced, so we got to do the same thing to both sides. Okay, once you untie, it gets rid of it. Bring down your R, your equal sign in the middle, and now we have 10 minus 9. What is that going to give me? That is going to give me a 1. Okay, and before we rewrite our answer and we put a box around it, let's plug this 1 in for my R and see if it actually does equal 10. Okay, so we found that R is supposed to be 1. So does 1 plus 9 equal 10? Yes, it does. That means we did it right. Okay, so we know that our answer is R equals 1. Okay, and I want you to write your answers like this. Okay, your variable equals. Okay, don't just write 1, write R equals 1. On your assignment, it might just ask you to plug in the answer. Okay, but if we were writing this in class, I would make you write it R equals 1. Okay, let's go to number 5. Okay, number 5, let's draw our line down the equal sign right there. Okay, so my variable is on this left side again. My b, we're trying to figure out what is b. So this means 3 times something. Remember, when they're right next to each other like that, that means multiply. So 3 times something equals -27. We're trying to figure out what this something is. Okay, so we need to untie the knot. We need to undo times by 3. Okay, so what is the opposite of times by 3? Okay, it is divide by 3. Okay, so we untied the knot, so it cancels. We got to keep it balanced, so do the same thing to both sides. Okay, we can bring down what's left. That's just our b. Okay, and now we have -27 divided by a +3. Negative divided by a positive, so I know my answer is going to be negative. Okay, 27 divided by 3, what is that going to give me? A 9, so -9. -27 divided by +3 should give me -9. Okay, before we box it up, let's plug it in and see if it works. Okay, so we had a 3. We did have a b, but we found a -9. Okay, does that equal -27? And you can check this on a calculator, do it in your head. 3 times -9 does equal -27. Positive times a negative equals a negative. Boom, we are good. Okay, so our answer is b equals -9. Great. Okay, let's go to number 6. Okay, number 6, draw your line down your equal sign, telling us that we got to keep it balanced. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So the left side, here is the side with my variable, my b. Okay, it's something divided by 4 is going to give me -6. Okay, we need to untie this divide by 4. So what is the opposite of divide by 4? Okay, it is times by 4. So we multiply, and that unties it. The opposite of divide is multiply. But we got to keep it balanced, so we have to multiply by 4 on both sides. Okay, we can bring down our b, that's all that's left, equals, okay, what is negative 6 times positive 4? A negative times a positive is going to give me a negative. 6 times 4 is going to give me 24. Okay, so that should be our answer. Let's plug it in and see if it actually works. Okay, so I'm going to plug in this negative 24 on top for my b. Negative 24 divided by 4 should give me negative 6. Does it? Negative 24 divided by 4, you can check it on a calculator if you want. It does, in fact, give me negative 6. Okay, so our answer is B equals negative 24. And there we go. Okay, let's go to number 7. Still only one-step equations. Okay, so we're gonna draw our line down our equal sign. My variable is on my right side this time. That's okay, we're still just gonna untie it the exact same way. So you always wanna untie the side with your variable. Okay, so you're not doing the opposite of minus 28, right? That's the side without the variable. So you wanna get the variable all by itself. So we need to untie this negative 20. So what is the opposite of minus 20? It's going to be add 20. Okay, so that unties it, so it gets rid, but you have to keep it balanced. So do the same thing to both sides. Okay, bring down your m. Okay, and then what is negative 28 plus 20? Okay, you're moving towards the positives here, so you're getting less negative. Okay, or in other words, think of it like I owe you $28. I give you $20. Okay, how much do I still owe you? I'm still negative. I still owe you $8. Okay, so that should be our answer. Let's plug it in and see. Okay, so we should get negative 28 as our answer. Okay, we had an m there, but we found negative 8. So negative 8 minus 20, does that give me negative 28? Negative 8, take away 20 more, that does give me negative 28. So our answer is negative 8. I like writing our variable first, and it totally doesn't matter. You can switch the sides of the equal sign when writing your answer. So instead of negative 8 equals m, which you can write that way, but I prefer the variable in front, you can write m equals negative 8. Same exact thing. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go to our last example, number 8. Okay, so let's draw our line down our equal sign. So my variable's on the left side again. Okay, well, what's happening with this 17? The addition sign is in front of the x. Okay, that's okay. This still means that we're adding 17 to it, so you could think of a positive 17 right in front of there. Okay, so we need to untie the knot, or do the opposite of plus 17. So the opposite of plus 17 is going to be minus 17. Okay, so that unties the knot, but now we have to keep it balanced, so we do the same exact thing over here. Okay, positive x just means x. We don't have to write the positive. Okay, x is going to equal something. Okay, what is 21 minus 17? Okay, this is going to give me 4. Okay, before we box up our answer, let's plug it in and check. So we had 17 plus x, but we found 4 for x, 17 plus 4. Does that give me 21? It absolutely does. So our answer is x equals 4. And there we go. Okay, you guys, that was solving one-step equations. We only had to do one thing to get our variables all by themselves. Okay? So if you wanted to fill out these notes with the video, you're more than welcome to do that. The blank notes as well as the filled out notes are both on Canvas. You don't have to turn the notes in. They're purely for your learning purposes. Okay, but once you're done watching this video, you can go ahead and do your assignment. Okay, thanks guys.